of the sesquicentennial of Sri Aurobindo, we are going to recite here the hymn to Durga, composed by Sri Aurobindo, along with an explanation on a greater significance of Sri Aurobindo's hymn to Durga for India. The mother says about hymn to Durga, for those who love India and wish to work for her greatness, with my blessings. Another relevant message by the mother. Sri Aurobindo always loved deeply his motherland, but he wished her to be great, noble, pure, and worthy of her big mission in the world. He refused to let her sink to the sordid and vulgar level of blind self-interest and ignorant prejudices. This is why, in full conformity to his will, we lift high the standard of truth, progress, and transformation of mankind. We carry it very high so that all who have a soul may see it and gather round it. Volume 13, Words of the Mother 1, on 25th April 1954. "112 years ago, in the year 1909, Sri Aurobindo composed this hymn. At that time, he came out of the Alipur jail after his realization of Sarvamidam Vasudevam and gave his inspirational oration of Uttarpada speech also to the public. He had not yet arrived at Pondicherry to his cave of Tapasya, which would completely turn the direction of his spiritual exploration. Probably, after all this significant realization, and a few months before leaving Bengal and his physical participation with the freedom movement of India for good, he had delivered this fiery hymn to Durga for all the children of Mother India for all time. Sri Aurobindo has never looked at Bharatavarsha as a country consisting merely of a vast geographical area of hills, mountains, waterfalls, jungles, rivers, fountains, soil, valley, forests and greenery, but as Bharat Mata, the living embodiment of the Mother Durga, who was worshipped for eons by the warrior clan Arya of ancient India. He saw in this vast land the power and force behind the awakened soul of Mother India as a representation of Mother Earth in the form of Goddess Durga. Sri Aurobindo composed this stotra for all the children of Bharatavarsha to worship her greatness, to manifest her almighty force upon earth, and to invoke her divine presence to preside over this land of India. Until now, we find the publication of Sri Aurobindo's entire writings on yoga in 36 volumes, which encompass all aspects of spiritual knowledge for humanity. But the most interesting thing is that he has carved the key to the inner treasure of his integral yoga in his little book, The Mother. Similarly, the purpose of the human soul taking birth in India, the purpose of his action, the purpose of his life, and the duty of each Indian towards the land and country, the key to the execution of her duties, arise for the sake of Bharat Mata and for the awakening of the soul power of India, are described succinctly in his hymn to Durga to give us the clear indications of the path of each Indian for establishing a noble life on earth. The authorship of Karma Yoga he has rendered through this hymn in 1909 will remain inevitable and inspirational for eons for the entire race of Bharatavarsha. But looking at the present scenario, It is unfortunate to see that even after 112 years of this composition, the administrative founders of the Indian civilization have not yet been able to follow the fundamental object of this hymn to Mother India or taken any initiative for its appropriate implementation for the people of this country. The core principle of Karma Yoga, to be followed by the warrior youth of India, is conspicuously delineated in this hymn to Durga. We will try to find here its significance and relevance today on the dawn of Sri Aurobindo's sesquicentennial in 2022. Starts from this 15th August 2021 for the youth of India. In the year 1885, Sri Bankim Chandra Chatterjee had the subtle vision of Mother India, and he expressed most of it through his poem Vande Mataram, which was later adopted as the national song. Similarly, Sri Aurobindo composed Durga Stotra in Bengali, as he had seen the real spiritual form of Mother India. As the eternally worthy son of the Mother India, he offered this prayer to her on behalf of the entire country for all time. He termed Mother Earth as Mother Durga, rider on the lion, giver of all power and trident in hand, who has always been the presiding deity of this country. Sri Aurobindo has given here a broad outline of the very purpose of her work on the spiritual land of India through these 14 stanzas. On the occasion of this forthcoming sesquicentennial, may we invoke the right spirit by reciting them in Sanskrit, followed by a brief explanation of each stanza in English. मातः दुर्गे सिंहवाहिनी सर्वशक्तिदायिनी मातः शिवप्रिये तव सत्यं सजावयं भारतस्य युवगणः तव मन्दिरासीनाः प्रार्थयामहे शृणु मातः अवतर भारतवर्षं प्रकाशस्व। मातः दुर्गे युगे युगे मानव शरीरम् अवतीर्य जन्मनि जन्मनि तवैव कार्य कृत्वा तव आनन्दधाम प्रतियामः एतद्वार्यपि जन्म गृहीत्वा तवैव कार्यव्रतिनः वयं शृणु मातः अवतर भारतवर्षं सहाय भव। मातः दुर्गे सिंहवाहिनी त्रिशूलधारिणी वर्मावृत सुन्दर शरीरे मातः जयदायिनी तव प्रतीक्षायां भारतं तिष्ठति तव तां मङ्गलमयीं मूर्तिं द्रष्टुमुत्सुकं शृणु मातः अवतर भारतवर्षं प्रकाशस्व। मातः दुर्गे बलदायिनी प्रेमदायिनी ज्ञानदायिनी शक्ति स्वरूपे भीमे समरुद्र रूपे जीवन संग्रामे भारत संग्रामे त्वत्प्रेरिता योद्धरः वयं देहि मातः प्राणे मनसि असुरस्य शक्तिम् असुरस्य उद्यमं देहि मातः हृदये बुद्धौ देवस्य चरित्रं देवस्य ज्ञानम्। माता दुर्गे जगत श्रेष्ठ भारत जातिः निबिडतिमिरेण आच्छन्नासीत् त्वं मातः गगन प्रान्ते अल्पमल्पम् उदीयसे तव स्वर्गीय शरीरस्य तिमिर विनाशिन्या आभया उषायाः प्रकाशः अभवत् आलोकं विस्तारय मातः तिमिरं विनाशय। मातः दुर्गे श्यामला सर्वसौन्दर्यालङ्कृता ज्ञान प्रेम शक्तिनाम् आधारः भारतभूमिः तव विभूतिः एतावत् कालं शक्तिसंहरणे आत्मगोपनं करोति स्म आगतं तद्युगम् आगतं तद्दिनं यदा जगतः भारं स्कंदे गृहीत्वा भारत जननी उत्तिष्ठति हे मातः प्रकाशस्व। मातः दुर्गे तव संतानाभयं तव प्रसादेन तव प्रभावेण महतः कार्यस्य महतः भावस्य उपयुक्ताः स्यां। विनाशय क्षुद्रतां विनाशय स्वार्थं विनाशय भयम्। माता दुर्गे कालीरूपिणी मृण्मयमालिनी दिगंबरी देवी कृपणपाणि देवी असुर विनाशिनी क्रूर निनादेन अंतस्तरीपुन् विनाशय येन एकोऽपि अस्माकमन्तरे जीवितः न तिष्ठेत् येन वयं विमलाः निर्मला भवेम यं प्रार्थना मातः प्रकाशस्व। मातः दुर्गे स्वार्थेन भयेन क्षुद्राशयेन म्रियमाणं भारतम् अस्मान् महतः कुरु महाप्रासिनः कुरु उदारचेतसः कुरु सत्यसंकल्पान् कुरु पुनरपि अल्पाशंसिनः निश्चेष्टाः अलसाः भयभीता न स्याम्। मातः दुर्गे योगशक्ति विस्तारय तव प्रिया आर्य संतानाभयम् अस्मासु लुप्त शिक्षा चरित्र मेधा शक्ति भक्ति श्रद्धा तपस्या ब्रह्मचर्य सत्य ज्ञानानां विकासं कृत्वा जगते वितर। मानवसाय दुर्गतिनाशिनी जगदम्ब प्रकाशस्व। मातः दुर्गे अन्तस्तरीपुणां संहारं कृत्वा बाह्यबाधा विघ्नान् निर्मूलय बलशालिनी पराक्रमिणी उन्नतचेता जातिः भारतस्य पवित्रकानने उर्वर क्षेत्रे गगनसहचर पर्वततले पूतसलिलनदीतीरे एकतायां प्रेम्णि सत्यसप्तो शिल्पे साहित्ये विक्रमे ज्ञाने श्रेष्ठा भूत्वा निवसतु मातृचरणेयं प्रार्थना प्रकाशस्व। मातः दुर्गे योगबलेन प्रविश्य अस्माकं शरीरं वयं तव यन्त्राणि अशुभ विनाशी तरवारयः अज्ञान विनाशी प्रदीपः भविष्यामः। भारतीय युवगणस्य इमम् अभिलाषं पूरय यन्त्रिणी भूत्वा यन्त्रं चालय अशुभहन्त्री भूत्वा तरवारीं घूर्णय ज्ञानदीप्ति प्रकाशिनी भूत्वा प्रदीपं धर प्रकाशस्व। मातः दुर्गे प्राप्तां त्वां पुनर्न विसर्जयिष्यामः श्रद्धा भक्ति प्रेम्णां सूत्रेण आबध्य रक्षिष्यामः। हि मातः अस्माकं मनसि प्राणे शरीरे प्रकाशस्व। वीरमार्ग प्रदर्शनीयैः पुनर्न विसर्जयिष्यामः अस्माकम् अखिल जीवनम् अनविच्छिन्न दुर्गा पूजा अस्माकं सर्वकार्यम् अविरतं पवित्रं प्रेममयं शक्तिमयं मातृसेवाव्रतं भवतु यं प्रार्थना मातः अवतर भारतवर्षं प्रकाशस्व। Sri Aurobindo has mentioned that India is a spiritual land and a temple of the Mother Earth, where he is invoking Mother Durga to descend upon earth and manifest herself in this land of India. Then he is making us proud to feel that we, the youth of India, have taken birth from the power of the Mother, who is the beloved of Lord Shiva, rider of the lion and giver of all strength. Sri Aurobindo has confirmed here that from age to age and life after life, we come down into the human body to do her work, and after that we go back again to her home of delight. In this life, we are born to dedicate ourselves to her work, so he has requested her to descend and to come to our help. Sri Aurobindo adored here the armor-clad body of beauty of the Mother, who brings victory of the truth by destroying the demons. He has expressed that India awaits and is eager to see her gracious form to manifest in this land. Sri Aurobindo explains here that Mother Durga is the giver of force and love and knowledge. She is terrible in her own self of might and also beautiful and fierce. In the battle of life, that is the inner battle to dispel the darkness within us, and the battle of India to eliminate the demons, we are the warriors commissioned by her. So to gain victory over those inner and outer battles, we pray to the Mother to give to our life and mind a Titan's strength, a Titan's energy, a God's character and knowledge to our hearts and intelligence. Sri Aurobindo proclaims here that India is the noblest rest in the world, but lies whelmed in the darkness. When Mother rises in the eastern horizon, the dawn comes with the glow of the divine limbs, which dispels all the darkness with the light. So he requests the Mother to destroy this darkness. Sri Aurobindo has considered the land of India as Vibhuti, a sacred portion from the one of the Mother Earth, ornamented in all her beauty of lush greenery and the fount of knowledge, love, strength for all mankind. Until now, Mother India had kept her might in abeyance, but is now rising up with the responsibility of the whole of humanity to make conscious the upcoming generations. Sri Aurobindo has put his prayer here to the Mother that, being her children, we live here on earth by her grace. So by her blessings and influence, may we become fit for her great work and ideal. He has also prayed to her to destroy our pettiness, our selfishness and our fear. Sri Aurobindo has adored her terrible form of Mother Kali, naked, garlanded with human heads, sword in hand that has slain the Asuras, to slay with her pitiless cry the enemies who dwell within us, so that not a single one remains alive and make us weaker. He is aspiring that we Indians become pure and spotless by her manifestation. Sri Aurobindo has expressed here that India lies low in selfishness, fearfulness and littleness, and he has prayed to the Mother to make us great, to make our efforts great, to make our hearts vast and make us true to our resolution. May we never remain void of energy, desire small things for ourselves, give ourselves to laziness and be stricken with fear in all internal and external circumstances of life. Sri Aurobindo demands of Mother Durga to extend her power of yoga among us. We, her beloved Aryan children, must regain the lost teachings of our heritage and develop nobility of character, strength of intelligence, faith and devotion, power of austerity, power of chastity and true knowledge to bestow all that upon the world. O Mother, please manifest to help the mankind and dispel all evil. Sri Aurobindo has presented here the very fundamental prayer of every human being by requesting the Mother's force to slay the enemy sheltered within us for eons in the inconscient, and then to root out all such obstacles of outside. Like the primordial sloka, Ashotoma Sadgamayo, Tamasoma Jyotirgamayo, Mrityarma Amrutam Gamayo. This was the prayer at the feet of the Mother, that the noble, mighty and heroic race may live with its greatness by inheriting love and unity, truth, strength, arts and literature, force and knowledge, to dwell in its holy woodlands, its fertile fields, under its sky-scraping mountains, along the banks of its pure streaming rivers. Sri Aurobindo has ardently invoked the Mother to enter into our body through the power of yoga, so that we can become the instruments of her force. The swords slaying all evils, the lamps dispelling all ignorance. He earnestly prayed to her to fulfill this wish of the young Indians, to drive her instruments, revolve the swords to slay the evils, hold up the lamp, and spread the light of knowledge. Finally, with all feeling of love and bonding, Sri Aurobindo has expressed that once we find her within us, we'll never cast her away and always keep bind her with the tie of love and devotion. He prays to the Mother to manifest herself in our mind, life, and body. The hymn finally ends with the invocation to the Mother as revealer of the heroic path, welcoming her to enter into us so that we no longer cast her away. May our entire life become a ceaseless worship of the Mother. All our acts should be a continuous and sacred service to the Mother, full of love and energy. This was the prayer to the Mother to descend upon earth and manifest herself in this land of India. We can understand from the recitation and explanation of these hymns the magnitude of responsibility Indians carry on their shoulders towards the upliftment of the present and future of mankind. As the Mother said, the future of India is very clear. India is the guru of the world. The future structure of the world depends on India. India is the living soul. India is incarnating the spiritual knowledge in the world. The government of India ought to recognize the significance of India in this sphere and plan their action accordingly. This message was given the February 1954 Words of the Mother 1. India must rise to the height of her mission and proclaim the truth to the world. This message was given by the Mother on 15th of November 1955 as a message to Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the then President of India, who visited the ashram. What is the duty of every Indian today in the present emergency? Mother is telling, overgrow your small egoistic personality and become a worthy child of our Mother India. Fulfill our duties with honesty and rectitude, and always keep cheerful and confident with a steady trust in the Divine's grace. 3rd February 1963 in the Words of the Mother 1. Mother is telling wonderfully, there must be a group forming a strong body of cohesive will with the spiritual knowledge to save India and the world. It is India that can bring truth in the world by manifestation of the divine will and power alone. India can preach her message to the world and not by imitating the materialism of the West. By following the divine will, India shall shine at the top of the spiritual mountain and show the way of truth and organize world unity. This message was given in February 1954 by the Mother, Words of the Mother 1. What is India? Mother says, India is not the earth, rivers and mountains of this land. Neither is it a collective name for the inhabitants of this country. India is a living being, as much living as, say, Shiva. India is a goddess as Shiva is a god. If she likes, she can manifest in human form. It is one of the greatest weapons of the Asura at work when you are taught to shun beauty. It has been the ruin of India. The divine manifests in the psychic as love, in the mind as knowledge, in the vital as power, and in the physical as beauty. If you discard beauty, it means that you are depriving the divine of this manifestation in the material, and you hand over that part to the Asura. From the time immemorial, some scholars say 8,000 years before the Christian era, from the time immemorial, India has been the land of spiritual knowledge and practice, of the discovery of the supreme reality and union with it. It is the country that has practiced concentration most and best. The methods called yoga in Sanskrit that are taught and used in this country are countless. Some are merely material, others purely intellectual, others religious and devotional. Lastly, some of them combine these various processes in order to achieve a more integral result. Message given by the Mother in Words of the Mother, Volume 13. Thank you.